Nation, welcome to Science Saturday. I'm your host, Robin Penguin. For decades, science fiction authors and even science philosophers like Carl Sagan have frequently suggested that the first language we should try to communicate with alien intelligences should be mathematics, primarily because it's both universal and simple. Or at least it was. By the mid-1600s, Western mathematics began trying to simplify, or as they claimed, remove ambiguity from the use of what is now commonly called order of operation. Presumably, this allows various mathematical formula to be expressed without the requirement of less ambiguous nested brackets, under the presumption that anyone rotely educated in the order of operation rules will arrive at the same result, even when a series of mathematical calculations are presented without brackets. Proponents and educators frequently push mnemonics as a way to help students remember these arbitrary and illogical rules involving the first letter of words representing the various operations. However, since different mnemonics are used in different countries and have slightly interpretational differences depending on the base language, this too is muddying up what would otherwise be a simple and beautiful thing. So America and France, for example, use the acronym PEMDAS, standing for parentheses, exponents, multiplication / division, and then addition / subtraction. PEMDAS is often expanded to the further mnemonic, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally in schools. In Canada and New Zealand, however, BEDMAS is more common, standing for brackets, exponents, division / multiplication, and then addition / subtraction. The UK, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Australia, and some other English-speaking countries use BODMAS, meaning either brackets, order, division / multiplication, addition / subtraction, or brackets of / division / multiplication, addition / subtraction. And while Nigeria and some other West African countries may also use BODMAS, like the UK and others in the Eastern Hemisphere, they may as easily use BIDMAS, standing for brackets, indices, division / multiplication, and then addition / subtraction. These mnemonics are intended to result in the same interpretations, however, often instead of clarifying things, they lead to further misinterpretations, particularly when reading the rules to mean addition first, subtraction afterward, as implied by both the order and the / separating them. Thus, this would incorrectly evaluate this expression. Even though the addition / subtraction notation in the mnemonics should actually be interpreted meaning any additions and subtractions should be performed in order from left to right, even though that is not clear by the representation. Obviously, right? Similarly, the expression A divided by B times C might be read multiple ways, but the multiplication / division in the mnemonic doesn't put multiplication ahead of division, despite it appearing that way, and instead means the multiplications and divisions should be performed from left to right, thusly. Additional ambiguities may be caused by the use of multiplication by juxtaposition, and by using the / to represent division in the formula. So these cumbersome and ambiguous rules often create more confusion than clarity, more inconsistency than reliability, even among the peoples of this planet. But again, this is a relatively modern affliction to maths. Pythagoras and Isaac Newton, and dozens of other mathematical geniuses who existed centuries before Stephen Hawking would take a simple calculation like 1 + 2 × 3 and arrive at 9, instead of what order of operations demands, which is 7. And they would get 9 simply because order of operations didn't exist in their time, or in the thousands of years maths were being developed before calculators and lazy writers came along. What is commonly understood is that the surest way to avoid ambiguity is to use parentheses, but again, we run headlong into the lazy component of keyboardists. So ultimately, we have made a complicated mess of what could be a very simple thing. Imagine English following this illogic, where a speaker would have to remember ahead of time that article precedes opinion, which comes before sizing, which is followed by age, then shape, color, then origin, material, then purpose, and finally the noun, a sequence most English speakers intuitively understand understand and use every day. Where the sentence, "The lovely little old rectangular green French silver whittling knife," was given to the reader as "knife whittling rectangular French silver little the green lovely old." An order of operations was applied to language, thus would then expect the reader to see this jumbled and reorder the words in their interpretation according to the commonly understood arrangement. Ridiculous. How much smarter would our society be? How many billions more innovations would be made if math adopted a logical sequence rule instead of requiring additional complex interpretations? Truly, instead of putting the onus to attack an equation using these unexpressed order of operation guidelines on those seeking answers, wouldn't it make more sense to require that the person writing the math equation put it in the sequence one is supposed to use to solve it? For indeed, unless alien intelligences have come to the same ridiculous decision that simple math needed to be burdened with arbitrarily cumbersome rules, they will rather more likely to have a logical sequence requirement, where the calculations are represented in the order they are supposed to be performed, rather than needing the operator to remember a mnemonic so they can resequence the components of the formula while attempting to solve the equation. No doubt, higher intelligences will look at us and immediately understand why we're still planet-bound and traveling the cosmos like slugs, since we've taken mathematics, a thing of sublime simplicity and beauty, and buggered it up like a reworked Victorian plumbing system. I don't understand that reference. And that's Science Saturday. I'm Robin Penguin, and this is the sound my butt makes when I have chili. Not really. I've been told that farty jokes work very well with this crowd. We'll see. Ta-da!